We made it to episode 5.
Woo! Cinco!
Yay.
Da.
So I'm thinking every 5th episode, I'm going to keep it to where we do an NFL-centric episode.
Ooh, I like it.
So in this one, I'm going to give you 2 choices.
Oh, boy.
So we have one guy who they created a cheer named on him, based on him, that they still do to this day. And the other guy is that guy. So which one do you want to do? The cheer guy or the wall guy?
Let's see. I'm assuming the cheer guy is Peter Van Rah Shish Kebab.
Close. Very close.
Let's go with wall guy.
Wall guy. All right.
Hey!
You're the show.
Hey!
Loveable losers hanging out in the living room. Loveable losers telling stories and maybe drinking beers. Lovable losers.
So you made your choice. You have to live
Wall
with
guy,
it.
wall
you
guy.
chose the wall guy.
What is the name of wall guy?
Wall guy is Doc Brown's favorite player in the world. Jake Scott.
Great Scott!
Jake Scott. Great Scott. Jake
Marty!
Doc Brown's favorite player.
Jake Scott!
Jake Scott.
Great grand uncle of Adam Scott.
Oh, legendarily.
Yeah.
So what I have here on my wall is Super Bowl 1 to Super Bowl 24 MVPs. So that's 25 guys that have won the award.
Ooh, okay.
So this one, 2 guys won it. Of these 25, only 3 aren't in the Hall of Fame. Harvey Martin, one of these 2 guys. Jim Plunkett, the quarterback of the Raiders. And our guy, Jake Scott.
Jake Scott!
So, our story today is about Jake Scott of the Miami Dolphins and then later of the Redskins.
Laces out, Dan.
Yeah, he wore number 13 for the Dolphins.
All right. Quarterback?
No, he was the safety. Free
Oh,
safety.
okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah. He won the MVP of Super Bowl 7, which was also the Super Bowl in which they completed their undefeated season.
Let me do that trying to figure out math face. And the year of Super Bowl 7 was?
1972 season. So the Super Bowl was in 73, January of 73.
Okay.
And he won the MVP award for getting 2 interceptions in that game. They won 14-7.
Okay. Close game.
Yeah. Oh, and that's the one.
I mean, that was it? Total, the whole game was 14-7?
14-7.
Was that scored early, I wonder, and there was a boring-ass game the rest?
It was excruciatingly boring unless you love defense.
Damn. Oh.
They scored 14 points in the first half. And, we'll get into the end of the game a little bit.
I'm jumping ahead.
That one's hilarious.
Loveable Losers is brought to you by Buffalo's Babushkas. We have 10 different types of shirts, papushkas, babushkas, nabushkas, and like so many more. Find us easily near I-80 and US 83, north of the South Platte River in southeast North Platte, Nebraska. Buffalo's Babushkas, open some Mondays and a Tuesday. Now back to Eric and Brian in the living room.
To put it into perspective, he started in 1970, which was the first year of the merger. That was when they added the AFL teams. The league went, from whatever it was, 16 to 24 teams, I think it was.
Okay. They combined the two.
Yeah, they brought in the AFL. Dolphins were an expansion team in the AFL. They came in 66. So they were
brand new.
72 was their 7th year of existence, and they went undefeated champion.
Wow.
They also went to the Super Bowl in 71, and they lost to the Dallas Cowboys 24-3. The 71 Super Bowl against Dallas, Super Bowl 6. On the way to that, they played the longest game in NFL history in the divisional round. They beat the Chiefs in double overtime, 24-27.
Oh, jeez. How long? Like, is that still a record?
Yeah, double overtime. So they probably just played almost all of the second overtime, and they were 15 minutes each back then. So it was probably like 25 extra minutes on top of the
regular
60.
game.
Yeah.
Damn.
Longest game in NFL history.
Oof.
but then they lost the Super Bowl. And then in '72, that's when they got the undefeated season. And on the way there, they had 3 close calls. In week 3, they only won by 2 points to the Minnesota Vikings.
Oof.
Week 6, they beat the Buffalo Bills by 1. Buffalo Bills and the Mr. Orenthal James Simpson.
Oh, really?
And then week 10, they beat the Jets by 4 points. So they
Dang,
had
these
some
are
close calls.
Yeah. Well, you call them close calls. I call them low-scoring games.
Defensive battles.
Yeah.
That's probably exactly what it is. That's
But
why.
this is the 70s. Football was played defensively
Uh-huh.
in the 70s.
And another interesting side note on that, the Buffalo game, the Bills were down by 8 at the end of the game, drove down, scored a touchdown. 2-point conversions don't exist.
Oh.
There was no 2-point conversion in the NFL until '94.
Holy
But
shit, that
These
late?
2 teams were both AFL teams. In the AFL, there was 2-point conversions. So if that game had been played a few years sooner in the AFL, the Bills could have gone for the tie. But in this scenario, they just had to kick a field goal and lose by a point. Super Bowl 7, the Miami Dolphins won 14-7. You figured out it was a defensive struggle right away.
Yeah.
But let me tell you about the 7.
All right.
There's about 2 minutes and 50 seconds left in the game. Dolphins get to a 4th down, so they're like, you know what? We're up 14-0. This is going for 17-0.
They want a conversion.
Let's make this score 17-0.
Damn.
They tried out.
They go to kick.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
Okay.
Garo
Wait a minute.
Yerpremian, their kicker, comes out left-handed.
That name.
Yeah, left-footed Armenian kicker. Great kicker. I mean, wonderful career. I mean, he's a great kicker. But he has the funniest highlight in NFL history in this game, and it's with less than 3 minutes left in the 4th quarter. So it was pivotal to the game.
Ah.
But he botches the snap, or that's what it was.
I've seen it.
Okay.
I've seen this.
He kicks the field goal right into the back of his own guys.
Oh.
Picks up the ball, and instead of just eating it and falling on the ground
And
like
doing
he
it
should,
again or later.
just giving up the ball. He's giving them the ball back. They haven't run the ball for anything.
He had
the whole
hero
game.
syndrome. He wanted to be the
He's
hero.
like, oh, what do I do? And he tries to throw it. Ball flies out of his hand. Oh, and then
there's the face.
no, slow motion,
Yeah.
and you see the guy. That's Mike Bass running for a touchdown. Make it 14-7.
Oh, that's where the 7 came from.
Yep.
So defense on the other team is who scored.
Yeah.
Or I guess
And the
special kick
Dolphins
return.
shut him down. Like the Dolphins didn't give up a defensive touchdown. That was a fluke special teams touchdown.
That was that one guy, Greenberry Flary guy or whatever.
Garo Yerpremian.
Yes, exactly.
And then on the very next drive, they force a 3-and-out, and they get that close to blocking the punt. So they could have blocked that punt, returned that for a touchdown,
and
tied the game. It spoiled their undefeated season in overtime with a field goal or something. But for Garo Yerpremian's luck, that didn't happen. Super Bowl 7 wasn't spoiled by the special teams blunders. Thankfully enough. Mr. Scott had 2 interceptions in the game. One in the 4th quarter that he returned all the way to back from the end zone all the way to midfield.
All right.
So it changed that would have been a score if he hadn't done that. So,
damn.
He won the Super Bowl MVP. There was another guy on the defense that had an argument. Manny Fernandez, a defensive tackle. He had an argument. He had a lot of tackles. He had a sack. He was a defense. He was
okay.
He made a lot of big stops in the game.
Well, it was a defense game. He's defense.
Yeah. And then another guy on the
Wait, go back real quick. His name was, say it one more time.
Manny Fernandez.
That's what I thought you said, but that sounded made up in my head.
Yeah, cool name.
Manny Fernandez.
There's another guy, the guy that actually had the clinching winning play, like he sacked Kilmer at the very end of the game on 4th down. His name, Vern Den Herder.
Vernon Herder.
Vern Den Herder.
Nerf Herder.
Yeah, left end. Vern Den Herder.
Vernon Herder.
He ended the game by tackling Billy Kilmer.
Vernon Herder.
Okay, so a few other guys on this defense. We got Bill Stanfill, Dick Anderson, Mike Colin, and Nick Bonaconti.
Bonaconti.
Nick Bonaconti. Conti.
Let's see if
With
I got
a O.
Let's see if I got a button for that one. Random.
Yeah.
My dick fell off.
Yes.
This defense had a cool nickname, and it's funny because
I love nicknames.
you like the names of these guys were cool names. Bill Stanfill, Vernon Herder, Manny Fernandez, Jake Scott, Nick Bonaconti. These guys are called the no-name defense.
No name.
So 72 was the second of 5 in a row where Mr.
Okay.
Jake Scott makes the Pro Bowl as
Jake
well.
Scott.
So he has great seasons. His last 5 seasons in Miami with the Dolphins.
All right.
The next
What a way
year,
to end it.
Super Bowl 8, they also go to the Super Bowl again.
They were on fire.
Yes.
3 years in a row.
Yeah, they LWW. They beat
Yeah.
Minnesota this year 24-7. And arguably the 73 team might have been better than the 72 team that went undefeated. Like they're just like the quality and like
Was it the same players,
it
or
was
did
a
they
lot of the same players.
did they add somebody like super fancy?
Yeah, a few strategic additions, and then
Huh.
I think Bob Greasy, he wasn't hurt all year. He broke his ankle in 72, so a veteran guy came in and like won a bunch of games in the middle of the year. So
Greasy.
yeah, Bob Greasy was their quarterback.
So you got a guy named Greasy, and a guy named Manicotti.
Bonacotti.
Ah, damn it.
Yep.
So close.
Yeah, it's like that sounds like a dinner or something.
It sounds like what I had for breakfast.
Some greasy Bonacotti. He stays with the Dolphins for 2 more seasons. They lose in the playoffs in 74, and in 75 they don't even make the playoffs. And then he's traded to the Washington Redskins, and he finishes his career 3 seasons with the Redskins.
Holy shit.
Nondescript seasons, end of his career. They make the playoffs only 1 of the 3 years.
Conspiracy theory here. We're getting into 75 and they start trailing off in their playoff season. I feel like 75 and me on this.
Damn,
Map
son,
it.
where'd you find this?
Howdy, partner. How's about time we take a little break? Woo-wee, doggy. Loveable Losers is brought to you by Sonia Blade's Blade Emporium in North-South Sioux City, Iowa.
Get over here!
To Sonia's for a wonderful selection of knives, swords, and many other specialized cutting devices. Say
Finish him!
to high prices at Sonia's Blade Emporium. Buy a blade from Sonia, and we promise you won't say, whoopsie, back to the losers.
Jake Scott wraps up his career. He's got it's a 9-year total career.
That's
6 in Miami, 3 in Washington.
pretty decent.
126 total games, which averages out to 14 per, which he started every game he played.
He played every season.
Yeah, one season he misses 2 games, and then the last season of his career is when they expanded to a 16-game season.
Mm.
So those just kind of balance each other out, and it averaged to 14
Ah.
games throughout his entire career.
Nice.
49 total interceptions, 9 forced fumbles, 13 fumble recoveries, 1,400 yards and returning yards for his career.
Damn.
I think he's the Dolphins' all-time leader in return yards.
That's what got him into the Hall of Fame.
That's what got him into the Hall of Very Good.
Hall of Infamy?
The Pro Football Researchers Association.
Ooh.
Through Jake Scott being on my wall, I find out at the bottom of the page that he was elected into the 2007 Hall of Very Good of the Pro Football Researchers Association. And then this is just a honey hole of great players that didn't quite make the Hall of Fame. Jake Scott is also put into the Dolphins Ring of Honor in 2010.
All right.
And he passes away in 2020.
Oh.
So he passed away at the age of 75.
75 years old.
Yeah,
That's a good age.
lived till 2020. He was the second famous number 13 on the Miami Dolphins.
Ha.
He was only
Well, wasn't he the first famous 13?
well, I mean, but in rank, like there's the
But
most famous number 13.
chronologically.
He was the first famous. Yeah, he was the first famous and the second famous.
Oh, first and second famous.
Shout out to Dan Marino.
Yeah,
Who
laces out, Dan.
Mr. Jake Scott, only one of 3 of the first 25 NFL MVPs to not be in the Hall of Fame. He's the first of only 2 free safeties to be the NFL MVP or the Super Bowl MVP.
Ever?
Yeah, Dexter Jackson with the Buccaneers, 20 years ago. He was the second free safety.
Well, that's early 2000s. So that's still 25 years after this guy.
Yeah, he was first.
And so he held that record.
Mm-hmm. Being the only free safety.
Yeah.
For the first
25.
40 years or whatever.
And a third of his life, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit. Well, he earned his spot on your board.
Yeah. So, shout out to Jake Scott.
Yeah, Jake.
Next episode, we're going to switch it up a little bit. We're going to do a Brian episode, right?
A little crazy. I just got a quick little short story. A tall tale short story.
Nice.
About my grandma and something she told me the other day that I just wanted to share with you.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good.
All right.
I'm looking forward to it. And, yeah, signing
Sweet.
off.